My name is Joe. We're going to be going over parts of a wildland fire and why we need to know those parts. We'll be referencing the NWCG Firefighting Type 2 S-130. And our learning objective, like I said, we're going to learn the parts of a wildland fire and understand why we need to learn those parts of a fire. Safety considerations, we're in a classroom, you on YouTube, you be safe at home, alright? Alright, like I said, we're going to have a quiz after this, okay? So make sure you pay attention, hold all questions to the end, we will go over and review it at the end, alright? So let's get started. Alright, so we're going over with the basic mitten. You know, it's real basic, so we can just look at our hand, kind of figure out the parts of a fire. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start off at the very beginning at the origin. Alright, just going to come right in here. So the origin of a fire is very important to know where it's at. We need to protect this area, especially just because we need to know if this was a lightning strike or arson or anything like that going on with it. Alright, so we need to know where this is at and protect this area. Obviously there's a fire going on, try to knock out the fire there. In the same area, we're going to have what we call the rear. It's typically by our origin. We need to know where this area is, once again, because it just helps us with the safety zone, knowing where the head of our fire is and the opposite of it. Alright, like I said, typically it's by the origin. And like I said, this is going to be the head of the fire. So our head of our fire is going to be the hottest point, also the most dangerous point for us. It's important for us to know where this is at, because it lets us know the direction of the fire. Also, it's a place where we're not going to have direct attack at. So always remember that. We do not direct attack the head of the fire. It's the most dangerous part. Alright, moving on. We see this little thumb kind of coming off the mitten here. This is what we call the finger. So the finger is just a little outspout of your main fire. It just branches off on its own. Alright. It's important to know this because if we're fighting a fire, say over in this area, and a fire springs out, it could come out and outflank us. So we need to be cautious of that. Alright. Moving on, another important part that the finger causes is what we call the pocket. So the pocket's important to know because it's in between your main head of your fire and the finger of your fire. This is a place you don't want to be. This place is going to be getting preheated with two fires in between, and they're probably going to join together. So this is a place we don't want to be, and we want to be cautious of. Another part we want to look at is this little part that branched out on its own. We call it spot fire. So this could be caused by the winds blowing embers or just debris rolling downhill. We need to be cautious of this as well because say we're fighting a fire right here between here and this finger. This could burn below us and come back this way and harm us. Also just very important to know because we want to try to get rid of these right away so they don't turn into another fire and cause more problems for us. Alright, so two other parts of the fire we need to look at right now too is going to be our right flank and our left flank. Pretty explanatory. Right flank's on the right side, left flank's on the left side. This is where we want to mostly be fighting our fires from. We're not in direct contact with the head, but we're trying to choke it out by working the sides of the fire. Alright? So it's very important to know where these are at, know where sides of the fire are at, so you know at all times where the head of your fire is and where you're at in relation to that. Last part we need to recognize is this green spot right here, which is called an island. So island can tell us a couple different things. It can tell us that the fire's moving really fast, the winds are affecting it really good. It's also a place that we don't want to call a safety zone or an area. It can still burn because it could be preheated, so we don't want to go in there and make it act and use it as a safety zone. All right. So we don't want to do that. So you got to be cautious of these islands. Just watch out for them. Like I said, they'll tell us a couple different things. All right. So these are all the main parts of the fire. Obviously, in the middle here is already the area that's all burned. Very important area. Like I said, if we're fighting the fire from the left flanks or the right flanks, we want to be trying to fight the fire from the black. We want to try to fight it from the black because it's already a burned area and it's a safe area. Be cautious though, if it's a dirty burn, which means it's not completely burned out, it could still burn again. Alright, so be cautious of that as well. Alright, so does anybody have any questions at this time about this? No questions? Alright, sounds good. Alright, so once again, just real quick, origin and rear, protect this area. It could be, we're going to find out if it was arson and lightning or anything like that. Also, the river fire is the opposite side of the head. Very important because it can help with the safety area for us. Right flanks and the left flanks is where we want to be fighting our fires mostly from. The fingers is a little part that juts off on its own. The pocket is in between your head of your fire and your finger. We don't want to be in this area. It's very dangerous. Spot fires, we want to try to knock these out right away. Our islands, we want to watch for those as well. Tell us if the fire is moving really hard and really fast, and if the wind's affecting it good. Also, it's not a very safe area for it to be, so we want to stay away from these areas. And then, of course, the head of our fire, which we never fight directly on as far as direct attack techniques. Yeah, so that's it. Just a quick review. We're going to do a quiz on this real quick. You're going to get some similar handouts of this. You're going to fill in the blanks with all the different parts of it. All right. So relation, why we need to learn this all, okay? So our 10 firefighting orders are split down into 3 different areas. We got our safety, our communication, and we have our what is our fire doing. So all 3 of those main parts of our 10 firefighting orders, we can all figure out by learning all the different parts of the fire. All right. We can learn what our fire is doing. We can learn the safety areas to stay away or where we need to be. And then our communication. We want people to communicate what is going on with this fire. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take that test now. And if you have any questions afterwards, we'll get that taken care of. All right. Thank you.